hello there. This is Natural Fitness Lifestyle, always natural. And I want to give you a little background on myself. In 2006, I believe 2006, I became certified under American Council on Exercise, which at the time was among the only top five certifications, accredited certifications in the United States. Now there are many, and the requirements aren't as stringent. So American Council on Exercise tests you on your abilities to weed out or to utilize key skills as a personal trainer in an active scenario. It's not just multiple choice. In other words, you're tested on how to deal with a client, not just any client, but a diversity of clients, ranging from older people, injured people, even pregnant people, people with sicknesses, and it tests you on how to train these people according to the guidelines established not by them, but the guidelines established by the American College of Sports Medicine, which is the largest organization for personal training, which is based on a government, a much higher institution. The certifying board for accrediting agencies is what screens most of these personal training courses. It no longer does that. A lesser organization does that, like I said, which is not as strict. But okay, so I started out as a trainer. Hey, how are you? Hey, I'm 5'7". I'm still 5'7". But with age, they say you get shorter. Yeah, so I wanted to get into the subject. Who knows about muscle mania? Muscle mania is one of the biggest competitions for natural bodybuilding in all the world. And why it's one of the biggest, because they go all over the world. They have the money and they put on shows that they know for putting on really good shows, the lighting, and they have the best. They're involved in modeling. So if you're a bodybuilder with muscle mania, you can end up on the cover of a magazine. You can end up acting. So a lot of people get involved, especially women. They want to try to be models, okay? But yeah, I got involved in muscle mania. I don't know if you could see that, but that's me when I won my weight division in muscle mania. That competition was in New York City. It just chose the best. But the promoter invited the world's best. He invited international competition because he wanted to sell more tickets. So can you imagine you go to a show and it's in New York, but you get on stage and you expect to compete against people from New York, but you end up competing against the world champions because the promoter paid. This is an amateur competition. And I didn't get a dime, not one penny. Look here. The guy over there is Dickens Lambert. That man was the top professional in Canada. In Canada had the best competition. Hey, hello, Eddie. How are you? Nice to see you. So he was the best professional. The promoter paid him money to go there. He paid him his hotels. I didn't get one penny, but yet I'm competing against him. Can you imagine? I narrowly lost. There it is again. I narrowly lost by like a point. I think the score was 48-47 for the overall. If I would have won, I would have went to the World Championships, and then it would have been professional. But he went instead, and he won. He beat Ulysses Jr. So if you look up Ulysses Jr., he's the top bodybuilding model. Ulysses Jr. You look up that. The top bodybuilding model. The natural bodybuilder, well, who competed from, or you could say the top musclemania bodybuilder who was more successful in modeling. Oh, good evening, Rab. Hey, Rab. Hey, hey, good to see you. You want to see a photo of me from Musclemania? This is me, and that's the world champion, Dickens Lambert. It's the world champion. I have a few more. If you let me know what you think about these photos. They were done by a photographer that's, I don't know. He was like a low budget photographer. That's why the photos, I look orange. I look like a carrot. I look like a carrot. See? Yeah. But you know these competitions, you had to get drug tested. There were 200 women and about 100 men. And we all had to get drug tested by a nurse. You go into the bathroom and, they test, urine tested. They test your urine. Yeah, so they had urine tests there. Yeah, of course they passed. So, a lot of people say, oh, those tests, they're not real. But it was my first time, and I had no idea. I had no way of knowing if they were real or not. No way of knowing. So I was natural. I wasn't going to take anything. There have been people who failed urine tests for Musclemania. And they've traveled and they spent a lot of money traveling, and they lost it all because they failed a urine test. I never failed a urine test. Hey, Rab, sure, you lost loads of weight, man boobs. No, you lost man boobs. Can you reckon particular? Yeah, dips and flies, dips and flies. Also flies because when you stretch the muscle and you stretch the skin, it kind of helps rebuild the collagen. So a lot of times, like even me, like my lower pecs sag a little bit because the skin gets loose. It loses the collagen. You might also consider finding out the nutritional things that, help the skin, like silicon, the nutrient silicon, I think, from foods. Not that I'm advising you to take anything, but this is just meant for educational purposes. More specifically, actually, a nutrient is the from grapeseed. It's called grapeseed. The nutrient comes from grapeseed extract. It's known to help the skin. So is coenzyme Q10. Those things are very known to help with the elasticity of the skin. But flies, if you're talking about exercise, flies. But if you're doing a resistance band, you get more of a stretch and more continuous tension. And that's very important in helping stimulate the contraction of the skin fibers. And also getting water. If you get water into the skin, you get more, it helps with the elasticity. You get more fluid inside the collagen, but it takes time. But dips and flies, you want to start out with, you don't have to do dips like everybody does. Remember, you can put a band attach the band to the dip attachment. It can help lift your weight. So you get a resistance band that's going to help lift you up. You make the dips easier so that you can do your dips. Many people find that the dips hurt their shoulder. So dips are really, really good for the lower part of the chest. Also, like I said, the flies is for the center of your chest. It helps make the chest more square, look more square. That's very important because I had like big lower chest, no upper chest. And I looked like I had man boobs all my life. When I was a kid, I didn't want to take off my shirt outside to go to the pool. There was a pool, one of the biggest pools in New York, near my house. I was too embarrassed because I had like the soft boobs, soft chest. Yeah, because I had no upper pecs. Everything was from the bottom. And I had like a big rib cage. It looked like a duck. I had like a rib cage. I have a rib cage like a duck, big, or like a chicken. Yeah, and it was soft like a chicken. But with the flies and the dips, it helped me out. Oh, your height? Don't be worried about your height. I mean, I kind of even worried now when I bump into somebody in the supermarket that's like, 7 feet or over 6 feet 5. But I stopped. When I stopped and show, I stopped being insecure about my height. When I seen the world's tallest man, it was like a shadow. I thought the moon, I thought the moon came early during the daytime. Big shadow. It was a man. He was like over 8 feet. He made everybody look small. So I stopped being insecure because about my height. There's giants. There was the giants. So not everybody's giants. So though I'm 5'7", you know, I'm you know, I'm big. There's always somebody shorter. There's always somebody taller, you know? So that's why I stopped being insecure about my height. And it's what you have up here anyway. And what you have in your heart and what you have in your brain. If you have big heart and a good brain, you don't have to worry about your height. Yeah. One time, foolishly, I tried to boss around a shorter guy. I mean, not physically, but I tried to talk big to somebody shorter than me, thinking that, you know, he would listen to me. But he came back with very wise words. It wasn't as the type of aggressive situation, but sort of like an authority. I wanted to be like an authority over him because I was the bigger guy. But his wise words chopped me down like a little pea. He chopped me down all the way down because he had wise words coming from here, and he said them with a lot of confidence from his heart. And that's what matters, Ansho. That's what that is what it's all about. And you never have to be insecure when you have a big heart and you have a wise mind. Because a lot of people these days, they have information, but they don't know how to use it. Information is like darts, I think. You can have all the information, you can have all the darts, but if you don't have good aim, you're not going to hit the target. That's the way I look at it. I went to college for 2 years, and there were, people that were always, smarter than me, but I kept focused, and I learned. I climbed the ladder little bit by little. And sure, right. Yeah, insecurity can be a killer of progress. It's very, very true. You know, I'm applying for college now, and many of the colleges in the admissions, they talk to me like, "Get out of here. You're a dummy. You don't belong in here." But everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. I learned that from, bodybuilding actually helped me out a lot with insecurity because look, I had to get up on stage, and I was 47 years old with gray hair, 47 years old. He's got young guys, top models in the world there. They have photographers, top photographers. That was a big show. And I don't have pants on. I don't have a shirt on. Look, I can't hide. There's nowhere to hide over there on stage. Everybody's looking at you. And they're looking at you like, are you good? You bad? Are you as good as him? I had to be confident. It really helped with my insecurity. Really helped with my insecurity. Being a bodybuilder, getting on stage, because when you get on stage, you have like over 1,000 people looking at you, and they're comparing you to this or what they've seen in a magazine, and they're very vocal. They say boo. They say what? There was one guy. He's in the audience. He said, "Wash your feet." He didn't say that to me though, but I mean, it can be very make you very insecure. Oh, I see. Yes, I understand. Worship. I worked in a messenger company. I worked in a messenger company, and there were these guys, and they tried to boss me around. They tried to make me do things that weren't part of my job. Tried to make me do some of their work, and I used to tell them, it's not my job. That's your job. Don't make me do your job because you get paid for your job and I get paid for mine. They were drivers, messenger drivers, and I was a walking messenger. And they wanted me to do things like fill out the papers for them. I said, papers? I don't look like a secretary, do I? You know? And they try to boss me around. I said, no, I'm not a secretary. You pay me, you pay me to be a secretary, do secretary work, then I do. You pay me to do your job, you pay me, then I do the job. If they got mad, they said, oh, but they couldn't say nothing, they want to fight me. I said, okay, you got two things. If you beat me up, you're going to lose your job. You're bigger, stronger at the time. See, I wasn't even working out or anything, so they tried to take advantage, and they were bigger and stronger. As I said, if you beat me up, I go to the boss, and you lose your job. So what are you going to do? You're going to do your job, and maybe I can help you sometimes, if you help me sometimes. Yeah, that's how it does. And they learned. Yeah, I was thinking of doing some of the band workouts. Thank you for making a suggestion because I'm thinking of doing some band workouts, but on live as well as some, videos for the band workouts. I have a resistance bands that I can use for the chest, for arms, and I have big resistance bands, like over 100 pounds, I can use for the legs. Oh, yes, Rap. Thing with resistance bands that when they're not stretched, they don't have a lot resistance. When you lower yourself, or should say, when you have the band at the top, when it's fully stretched, you have the top of the movement, right? If you're standing up with the band, you're going to get a lot of resistance. But when you're squatting down, you have less resistance. It takes pressure off your bones. You can actually have better posture and better movement because you don't have so much pressure restricting the movement of your bones. It's less pressure on your bones, but at the same time, being that the bands allow you to move more, you're getting more range of motion. You're able to get more flexibility. And then when the tension increases, it helps stimulate the ligaments and tendons because ligaments and tendons stretch a little bit, only a little bit. So you're getting more strength in the ligaments and tendons with the bands, which the weights really don't. The weights compress you a lot, and the weights focus on the muscle. The bands focus more on the ligaments and tendons and getting the blood into the circulation throughout the entire joint and muscle. Yeah. So like I got some. What does everyone think about natural bodybuilding? And because I now and then on the comments, not any of you guys, I'm just saying, but there's some people comment that I use, I'm not natural. I use things that will not make me natural. But that is furthest from the truth. I've always been natural. I can't afford to be anything other than natural. And I wouldn't take a chance on taking anything unnatural because it may not be safe. It may not be safe, and it's not worth it. I mean, I've come a very long way being natural. Look like that. I was competing against the world champion, and I did very well, all natural. So why wouldn't I be natural now? Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely, always been natural. I know I could tell you a lot. So I used to work as a trainer, and there were a lot of in an area where it's you know in an area where there were a lot of people who unfortunately had sicknesses, and they had to resort to medications that really helped them with their hormones and everything, and they taught me a lot. They taught me a lot, and it helped me make a judgment that it wasn't the best thing for me. So that's why I never used them, because I had the opportunity to use them, but I never did. I had the opportunity to use them, but it wouldn't make, if I wasn't not natural, if I would have used things that weren't natural to help me, it wouldn't make me win. I wouldn't have won, because talent, you can't buy talent. You can't drink talent. Talent is not something you could buy. You either have talent or you don't. So that's why I always believed to just stay natural, because I had talents. I had talents on how to build my body, you know. But I also had like a vision. I had talent over here, my imagination. I had a strong. I tried to project what I seen my body look like in my mind to my body, in my exercises, to the way that I moved. Yes, to the way I did my exercises. And it guided me and it taught me the speed to do the exercise, because the speed you do an exercise will influence on how you look. Most people, they take a piece of equipment, whether it's a resistance band or weight or cable machine, and they're moving fast. They're in a hurry. They're never they're never feeling what's going on inside their body. So they're never really doing the exercise according to how their body feels and what their body discovering, all the different feelings in the body. Because exercise is a discovery. It's not just for the body, but it's for the mind and for the spirit. You become stronger in your imagination and your determination and your spirit, because you're getting more in touch with yourself. You're becoming more aware of your spirit as well as your body. A lot of people in the old days used to call the bodybuilding body, mind, and spirit. So that's why it was always natural. I didn't believe in taking things that weren't natural, because it had nothing to do with getting in touch with your body and your spirit. So anyway, that's as far as that goes. But if anybody wants to see any more pictures, I'll show you something here. here. Oh man. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah. I gotta go. Somebody's making a delivery or something. I'll talk to you soon.